In today's video, I'm going to show you the subtle difference between what makes intermediate fighter to the pro level. And it's very, very subtle, but it takes a lot of practice to do. But once you get the simple technique down and drill it over and over and over, the sky is the limit for you. And I promise you, if you've been getting discouraged with doing the same thing over and over, because I know it gets a little repetitive, this one game-changing technique will change your game and you will get invigorated again. All right, guys, my name's Coach Chris. Welcome back to Sicat Kickboxing Club. If you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to the channel and like this video, only if you're getting value out of it. And also comment down below. I'd like to hear from the community. I want to hear what you guys want to see next on a video, what you guys want to learn, and tell me what you think about this video. Also, I shared this video actually with someone that wants to learn the art of kickboxing. You don't even have to fight or compete. It just does a lot for your confidence and self-esteem. And if you want to learn self-defense, kickboxing is the way to do that. Also, I run a high-level podcast. Now, the reason why I say high level is because I got UFC fighters. I have intermediate amateurs that go on there. I have hobbyists to practitioners. So there's something for everyone, but it's a self-improvement martial arts podcast. And you can really get a lot of value out of it if you're kind of delving into like the martial arts world, especially kickboxing. All right. So let's get started. So again, I've been, like I mentioned on my last video, I've been vested in high level coaching. Look, I've been doing this for over 15 years and I love doing this. That's why I make these videos for you guys, so that you can learn this art of kickboxing and self-defense. They go hand in hand, just some subtle differences. That's why I've been investing with personal training with lightweight contender Evan Elder. He's fighting in Australia, Perth, at the biggest stage at the UFC. In a few months, he's in training camp. But I'm lucky enough that he's training me, and I'm lucky enough to know these fighters to where I have a relationship with them, so I can better learn. It's continuous learning. Saying that, so guys, when just like I mentioned on my other video, it's the small things that matter. All right, like I get the fact that if you get good at kickboxing and do your repetitions, that's awesome. Like that's where you should be heading. But now it's time to really dial in and then hone in on those little details that will change your game. Say if you're at this level, right? Like say if you have a buddy you're training with or anyone at your gym, and then you're training and you're at this level to where you guys are pretty much on the same boat, right? Which is great. But then when you learn these subtle techniques, we're getting higher and higher up to building our skills. So these small techniques matter. And today I'm going to show you one complete game changer. Like I said, I've been doing this well over a decade, coaching and fighting. And this one technique in my fighting changed the whole game that Evan Elder taught me. So it's in your stance, okay? This is very important. Okay, I'm gonna go close up here, okay? Because I want you guys to get this concept, even though you quite don't understand it yet. It's all in your stance, your base of your standing. How you're standing is literally your foundation on how you fight. So I mentioned it a little bit on my other videos because it's so important, but now we're here, right? You've seen all the basic videos, but now we're going up to like higher level if you decide to spar or even competitively fight. Your base is everything. And what I might mean by base, I'll break it down a little bit. What I mean by base, look, I have a strong base here. My footing is literally connected to the ground. It's not, I'm here, I'm not going here. Here's the reason. And I'm gonna break it down into small steps for you. Boxers, when they have a base, what they'll do when they do footwork, a lot of people think they can just punch while they're doing footwork, and you can to close the distance. That's never say never, right? I've mentioned that in other videos. But then when you plant and have a good base, your head is forward. That's number one. That's the number one tip, is that you always have to be looking where you're hitting. I'm gonna say that again. You always have to be looking where your opponent is at, because that's where you're gonna hit. Wherever you look, wherever your head's turned, and this applies to kickboxing, wrestling, MMA, jiu-jitsu, wherever your head is turned, say if my body is linear to you, right? We're facing each other. If my head is turned here, look, if someone pushes me, I'll literally go that way, wherever my head is going. That's what I mean. Now, what I mean by good base is, look, here, look, my head is looking forward. If someone pushes me, and you can try this with a partner.
What's going on, guys? It's Coach Chris from Sicat Kickboxing Club. I'm happy to announce that I'm doing my very first live interactive webinar on Zoom. Super excited for this one because I like the socialization with my clients, and I've been coaching for over 10 years. So I'm super stoked to do it online. So what we're going to cover on this is just the introduction of kickboxing, my methodologies and principles when it comes to kickboxing, especially if you're a beginner. I know it can be scary to do kickboxing because there's, hitting and all that, but it's not really what people think. And that's why I did this in the first place. Saying that, this webinar is for everyone. It's for beginners, it's for intermediate, practitioners, hobbyists, competition, right? And we're going to be covering a good amount of ground on it. So introduction to kickboxing, like I said, the methodologies and principles that go into it, maybe give you a confidence to start doing it. And also, I'm going to talk about the self-defense aspect as a part of the webinar, because I know I've taken surveys and I've heard from your guys' comments that you guys are really interested in that. And I think it's very important. And then I think kickboxing as a whole is the combat sport to learn actual self-defense. Like, it's not one of those fake, Tai Chi stuff. But anyways, we're going to be covering that. And I'm going to do a live Q&A for all your questions. I'm going to be answering all your questions. So that should be really good to get you in the zone and give you all the information that you need for this webinar. So I hope to see you there. Sign up. I'll click the link on the description down below, and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to meeting all of you.
Have a stellar base, foot planted on the ground. You can't be moved. It's kind of hard to see on these videos, right? But look, just try it. If I look this way and then my body is towards you, when someone pushes you, even your body, even no matter how the concept is, the principle is, no matter how much you weigh, if I turn my head here, they push me here, I'll still tip over where I'm looking. Guys, very, very important concept. We're now thinking in principles and not just like an animalistic point of view where we just want to knock each other out. The IQ separates a good kickboxer from a guy that just does it for a hobby, right? And that's okay if you do it for a hobby, but even hobbyists can learn this so they can step up your game. So number one is, wherever you look, you will go. Look this way, look sharp. Think of Eben Elder taught me this. Think of rhino horns or think of a bull with his horns turned to the opponent. All right, you know how we like our analogies over here. You can make up your own too if it helps you. Right here, so that your head will always be facing that direction. All right. Number two concept. All right, we talked about the base. Wherever you're looking, you will go. A lot of people, they like to run away, okay? And this has a lot to do with base. This is the whole point of this video, is what separates real fighters and high level fighters from the beginners and even the intermediates, is that you have to stand in the pocket and again have a good base. Now we're building towards number 2, is that I've mentioned this before, and right here you have to have a stellar base so you can block. Okay, that's the number 1 thing, because I was just teaching this to a beginner student, which is okay. I don't blame anyone because it's a part of our habits, it's part of our human DNA. We're wired like that. And I've mentioned this in other videos, to flinch, to do this. Try going like this to someone, like back when you were in high school, like you were pretending to hit them. Try doing that, okay? And then watch someone's reaction that isn't trained and knows how to fight. They'll automatically go. So now you have to train yourself when you're training with a partner, or even you could do it by yourself in the bag, to literally get in distance with your opponent and just stand there and block with a good base. Base is the theme of this video, okay? So with a good base, your foot is planted. The foot is planted to the ground, okay? And you're there, you're doing this. Guys, the reason why I think the footing, not I think that I know the footing is so important, is that if you back up, right? Say for instance, here's my opponent, and then I'm backing up, he can literally sweep me off my feet, because when I'm backing up, that means I'm off balance. So what you want to do, it's okay to back up if you're getting overwhelmed, but what you want to do is, look, you want to take subtle steps. You want to go here if you're backing up, and then defend. Use your defense. And then if he's still overwhelming you, back up, defend. Don't do this. Or that's the worst thing you could do, because the opponent subconsciously is already thinking, I got you. He smells blood in the water even though he's not conscious of it. He's thinking in his head that, oh, even though, again, he's not thinking of it, like, he's not using his prefrontal cortex to think, oh, I got this guy because he's backing up. This subconsciously, animalistically, he's going to go after you because you're just doing this. You're almost being, or actually you're being a heavy punching bag, okay? You're being a heavy punching bag, all right? So that's the concept of that. So even when you're going forward, yeah, you can move forward, right? You'll see that. I've taught this before in my videos. But again, it depends on situational. Boom. I'll move forward, but look at my base. I'm not leaning. I'm not going, oh, even when I'm backing up the jab. Look at my base, nice and strong. That's the same concept with defense. If I back up, I'm not going like that, because that guy will come at you with a barrage of punches, or he'll sweep you in Muay Thai if you're doing the sport of Muay Thai. Okay, very, very important. All right, again, this is what separates high level guys from intermediates. It's such a subtle difference, but guys, try it for yourself, rep it out. I promise you, it will change the way that you literally fight, okay? The third concept that I will say, since we are in kickboxing, is 90% of your weight should be on your back foot, and 10% should just be a stopper on your front foot, okay? Now, the reason for that, so a lot of boxers, they go 50-50 and they're bladed, right? They're 50-50, so they're planted on the ground. It's not wrong. Look, you can do the 50-50. I don't want to limit you to just my teachings. I want to show you your style of fighting, okay? But most kickboxers, again, from Evan Elder, the top of the food chain when it comes to fighting, you have to check kicks. That's mainly it. And teeps. Since we're in the business of kickboxing, it's literally in the word. They're going to try to leg kick you. They're going to try to kick you up top. When you have 90% of your footing and go back here, look how easier it is to lift up your leg compared if you had a base planted to the ground. Now you literally have to readjust, move your foot, go here, and then get balanced. If you have a stance like this, look how easy it is to check my foot, right? And that's the main difference. That's the main reason why you're doing it. In kickboxing, it's a game of inches. So a lot of people, if you watch Liam Harrison, he'll kick you in the leg literally 5 times if you don't check it. If you're heavy, say if you have more weight distribution on your front foot, okay, that means you're susceptible to leg kicks like most boxers are. When I was sparring, when I spar actually with boxers, I know that they're heavy on that front foot and they don't have the habits to kick check. I will kick that leg the whole day, all right? And look, boxers are, if you're a great boxer, you don't want to get in their range, right? So I'll keep the range, I'll keep them, right? But then they don't know how to check a leg kick, right? Because they're so heavy. That's just an example. They're so heavy on that stance that they have. 50-50 is what they call it. 50 on the front leg, 50 on here. So remember, guys, why you want to have 90% on the back foot and use 10% on the front foot just as a stopper when you're moving. Stop, right? And then the majority, it's like a Conor McGregor style. He puts a lot of his weight on here, so part of it is elbow, boom, and then he could check the kicks, all right? That's the whole reason. That's the whole explanation, okay? Thank you guys for watching these 3 things, all right? And I'm gonna go over it more descriptively on another video, but if you can internalize the principles that I just showed you, it's over. It will change your game. It will reinvigorate you. After you've been doing kickboxing, it's mind-blowing. I've been teaching for over 15 years. I've been doing this my whole life. And that's why I invest in high-level fighters to personally train me, like the top of the food chain, Evan Elder. Again, he's fighting in Perth, Australia. And again, guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I just love teaching so much. I have a webinar coming up. Click the link on the description down below. August 26th on Tuesday at 10 a.m. All right. I will. It's my first ever one. I'm super excited to meet the community and just answer all your questions. To be honest, it's just an introduction of kickboxing. Okay. So, guys, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the channel, comment down below and what you thought about the video and what you'd like to see from future videos. And also subscribe to the podcast. You'll get a lot of value out of it. Subscribe to my email newsletter. Okay. chrissicat.com/blog. All right. I'll see you on the next one.